Good evening, happy thinkers. Melissa here presenting WTF episode number 40. Woohoo! Can't believe it's 40 already. But we are shooting WTF episode 40 live, also known as Wednesday Thought Forum, and it's all brought to you by Think Me First. Today's topic is going to be about 13 tips on how to foster good relationships. Now, this is primarily going to be towards... Hi, Tina. Thank you for joining. It's nice to see you this evening. So we are talking about 13 tips to foster good relationships, and it's primarily going to be about couples, but most of these you can apply to everyday relationships, so you might just have to modify it a little bit. So when we vision a good relationship, I bet you probably vision like never fighting, or it's all romantic. And hi, Tasha, nice to see you. And Jennifer's with us as well. Thank you all for watching this evening. We're just talking about 13 tips to fostering good relationships. And so when we all picture a good relationship, we are thinking, again, it's like perfect. There's no fighting and everyone's lovey-dovey and, we're spending all of our time together. You think that's how it is, right? No, it's not. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and set my disclaimer. I am not a relationship counselor or anything like that, but I have lived life long enough. These are just some of the things that work for my husband and I, so I'm just sharing them with you, and you can do what you want with them. But your relationships with others, it's one of the most crucial concepts that we have in life. Relationships affect many different aspects of our health and our life. It affects our stress levels and your overall health and happiness. But when we connect with our partners, emotionally and physically and romantically, it feels great. It's a great feeling, but it does take work. It's not something that comes easy. I mean, sometimes it will, but it doesn't always come easy, and it does take a lot of work. But here are just a few tips on some healthy relationships. Number one is communicate with patience. And we all know that communication is key to any relationship out there of any sort. But many people, Lindsay just joined in too. Thanks, Lindsay, for joining us. But many people don't know how to communicate effectively or efficiently. Healthy couples, they tend to vocalize their love for each other, and that helps a lot. They have the capability of discussing their feelings with each other, and then this helps the partner because the partner's not just stuck guessing all the time. Because when our partners start having to make assumptions, then that's kind of when the communication starts to take a crash. This even includes difficult issues or situations. Healthy partners usually discuss those with one another. Now you may agree or disagree with each other, and that's okay too. But it's just being able to have the capability of talking to each other openly and not judging. Number two is going to be compromise. Every relationship is going to have conflict to some degree. It's inevitable. It happens. But guess what? I bet you didn't know or think about this, but usually it's not the conflict itself that affects our relationship, but it's how we handle it. It's how we handle the issue that affects it. The most crucial element in solving conflict is compromise. But you can't always be the one compromising and conceding all the time, but you don't want to be the one that's right all the time either. Basically, just keep an open mind when you're communicating with each other. Number three is to appreciate often. A lot of people don't do this because they just kind of get set in their ways. I try to make it a point to, appreciate my husband several times in a day because it's easy, it's free, it's simple to do. But often couples will just fall into these patterns where they take each other for granted, and it's very easy to fall into. But try and notice small things to acknowledge your partner. or just, be cute with them or flirt with them, or just something to break up the monotony and acknowledge that they're present and you enjoy their presence. When you appreciate your partner and they feel that you appreciate them, then this serves as an excellent motivator for them. It generates positive feelings for both you and your partner in the relationship. And then while you're at it, practice gratitude. We have several videos on gratitude. I forgot to write those down this evening, so I'll refer to a lot of videos, but you might have to go back and find them. But gratitude, when you focus on that, it just teaches you to focus on positive things and don't fixate on those negative things. Number 4 is to always, always respect each other. Relationships flourish so much when you respect each other. Being respectful means being mindful to each other and your feelings, beliefs, respectful of time, and your trust. Ways to break respect very easily is by name calling or talking negatively or even threats with intent to hurt that person. It's just not good. Number 5 is to allow for personal space. I think this is a huge one because I think a lot of people may not have something themselves to do, so they always have to be around their partner all the time for that crutch. But allow for personal space. It's very healthy. Whether that person needs time alone and maybe time with their friends or their family or to do their hobbies or something that they're interested in. Because again, when we're spending all of our time with our partner, then we can not only maybe suffocate each other, but maybe even indirectly build that codependency, and that's not something that's good for a relationship. Number 6 is to be each other's rock. We all go through rough times. Again, something else that's inevitable in life. But when we know that our partner is in our corner or has our back to support us, it makes these situations much, much easier to go through. No matter how independent you are, learn to lean on your partner for assistance or help every once in a while. This was really, really hard for me to do. And for all you single people out there that are looking for relationships, it might be hard too. But I am a very, very independent person. And, going through my past experience, I did a lot of things myself, and I just learned to just rely on myself and no one else, especially if I wanted it done my way. So coming into my my relationship with my husband now, Sam, that was one thing that I really, really focused on because I knew it would be an issue for me, and that was to allow myself to lean on him and have him help me. Because again, that was really, really hard for me. And it doesn't mean you're not independent anymore when you do that. But it also builds the relationship. When you start going through hard times together, it really, really brings you close. Number 7 is going to be responsible for your own happiness. This is also key. It does happen when partners expect too much from each other. So people who were never happy, they get into a relationship and hope to feel happiness. People who are never confident look to get into a relationship to build confidence. And really, that's not the way to go about it. When you're going into a relationship like that, you need to feel valued. And that's not good because, unfortunately, not only does this not work for long-lasting relationships, it doesn't work for you either as a person. The lesson here really is to just be happy with yourself before you go looking for that relationship, because if you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with anyone. You have to live with yourself 24/7. So you need to be happy with yourself before you move on to a relationship. And I will tell you that a couple of my relationships, a lot, I knew I wasn't happy with myself, and I kind of settled. So, you want to go into it with a mindset that you're actually going to pick who you want to be with and not just settle for someone in hopes that you will become happy. Number 8 is to learn more about each other. So, and this happens over time, but do you really know your partner or what excites them, their goals, their dreams? Take an interest in what makes them them and what makes them tick. Number 9 is to learn to validate your partner's feelings. So validating your partner's feelings, it increases emotional security of your relationship as a whole. You want to listen to your partner without that urge to fix or solve something, and that's very, very difficult to do. And we've talked about this in one of our other sessions. I think it was the listening effectively one. And basically, what I usually do is if someone is wanting to express their feelings or emotions or something, I will ask them specifically, do you want me to listen, or do you want me to listen to give you advice? That way I can put my mindset on. If they want me to listen, then I hopefully have the mindset that I don't interrupt and I just validate their feelings. And then when they're talking, just make sure that you tell them that you hear what they are saying. Number 10 is going to be check in with each other. You know, things get rough often. Sometimes you may not even know until it builds up so much on your partner and they just explode. So just check in on things. Ask them how they are every once in a while. If you know they had a long day, ask them, what was the most challenging part of your day, or how did you defeat that? Just be specific so they have time to communicate with you about their feelings. Number 11 is a key one, and that is to fight fairly. And I said, yes, fight fairly. Because in good, healthy relationships, fighting is a part of that, and it's not a negative thing. It goes back to how you handle the fight. But disagreeing, again, is healthy. And just because you fight doesn't mean that you don't love each other. At the end of the day, you just need to remind yourselves that you're both on the same team. Don't attack each other. Instead, try to understand each other. Work, and just when you do this, work towards a solution. Number 12 is going to be sleep on it. That's pretty much enough said. Sometimes we just need that time, that space to reflect and just sleep on it, maybe revisit it the next morning with a refreshed mind. And 13, the last one, last but not least, is to keep things interesting. So as a couple, throughout your relationship, you're going to change. You may change, your partner may change, or you may change together. But just keep things interesting by maybe trying new adventures, such as food or different places, or maybe even new activities. Basically, you just want to break up the monotony of the natural routine. And my final thoughts for this evening is, if you want a healthy relationship, you need to create that healthy environment. Make your partner feel good about themselves. The secret sauce really is to ensure that there are just more good times than there are bad. It's a no-brainer, but at the same time, having a relationship should not feel like a second job. You want to find pleasure and fun and comfort in your situation with your partners. But lastly, and this is key, whether you're in a relationship or not, never compare your relationship to anyone else's. Things are very seldom what they look like when you see all these things on Facebook, like our family did this and our family did that, and things are not perfect all the time. So just being said. Anyways, I'm going to conclude, but I just wanted to wish everyone a good evening. If you like my material, feel free to go to thinkmefirst.com. And there you can also sign up for emails, which has additional tips, tricks, and hacks. I send out 2 a week, and it's on my website as well. And then you can also find me on Pinterest.com/Missy Think Me First. And you can also hop on over to, I highly encourage you to hop on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the bell, and you can watch every WTF video that comes through. Again, I'm still striving to get those 100 subscribers. And so if you have any topics that you want me to talk about, feel free to drop them in the comments below as well. But anyways, I just want everyone to have a good evening, and I will talk to you all later. Bye. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.